I wish to acknowledge our school board members who are here in attendance this morning. We have Board President Brenda Warren here. Good. Clerk Celestine Jeffries. And Board Trustee Mike Blecka. We also have a number of elected officials and leaders in our community. We have our Mayor, Jim Schmidt, Mayor Schmidt, Representative Eric Gingrich, and Chamber Board President Lori Radke. Thank you all for coming. Am I missing anyone? Besides all of you wonderful people who came as well, so thank you. Today, we are going to discuss and talk about Green Bay Area Public Schools. And we are celebrating our schools, and while we still have a lot of work to do, we're very proud of the work that we have been doing with our staff and our students. We are making significant growth, and we're moving in the right direction. So in addition to our scheduled open houses on Thursday and Saturday, we invite you to come into any of our 37 schools. You can call or stop in, or you can go to our website and click on Why Green Bay Schools. And this is what you'll see eventually in February on the screenshot, where you'll be able to go and see any of our schools, any of our programs, and click them on and learn more about them. My name is Michelle Langenfeld. I have the honor and privilege of serving as superintendent. And while the focus of our conversation this morning is going to be primarily around student learning and achievement, I thought I would be remiss if I didn't stress that safety and the well-being of each child is also a priority for us. We thank parents for entrusting us with their children and recognize that it is our responsibility not only to provide a world-class education for each and every child, but also a very safe and warm and welcoming environment. The Green Bay Area Public Schools is seen as a leader and a model of best practice in both school safety and anti-bullying initiatives across the state of Wisconsin. You have our assurance that working in partnership with national leaders in school safety, as well as local law enforcement, we will continue to provide all students a safe and welcoming environment in which to learn and grow. To set the tone for us this morning, I'd like to draw your attention to the screen and invite you to watch the short video clip.
Everything looks bigger than life when you're 5. So everything was big, everything was strange, and I remember feeling, I guess, a bit scared.
Like many children, I remember my school years fondly, but the bits I remember fondly aren't the bits I should have remembered. You know, I remember the play and the sport and the naughtiness and the playfulness and the mischief. In fact, I remember the bits that were non-standard.
It's incredibly privileged for me to have had education be such an important and present part of my life.
I remember being bored a lot. It didn't bring out the best in me, and you know, I got through it anyhow. So it's, you know, I was not a great fit, or the system was not a great fit for me. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, that we take all these children and we force them to try to adapt to this really complex bureaucracy, this system. The system should adapt to them.
The origins of traditional education lie inside the military to a large extent. They needed identical people, soldiers, administrators, and so on, so they produced a system. When the Industrial Revolution happened, they too wanted identical people in their assembly lines, even in their consumers. They wanted consumers to be identical so that everybody would buy the same things.
So if you look at school that way, if you look at the fact that we process 20 or 30 kids at a time in a batch, just like in the factory. If you look at the fact that if you fail 3rd grade, what do? We hold you back and we reprocess you. All matching the way the factory works. We built it on purpose. And it was really useful for its function. But we don't have a shortage of factory workers anymore.
We're probably at the death of education right now. I think the structures and strictures of school, of learning from 9 until 3, you know, working on your own, not working with others, I think that's dead or dying, and I think learning is just beginning.
It's often said in public education that we are slow to respond to change, but that is not the case here in Green Bay. We are continuously challenging the status quo. We recognize that how and when students learn is no longer bound by bricks and mortar, nor is it limited to how much a teacher knows or what's in 26 books of the encyclopedia, but rather it's our devices like cell phones, iPads, iPods, netbooks, and so forth that afford us the ability to find answers everywhere. We're connected to the world. We live in a global society, and to that end, we are in the process of redefining how, when, and what we teach. Teachers are using technology like never before to enhance and support student learning. And as we focus our work on the Common Core state standards, we're teaching our students not only content, but how to critically think, problem solve, and communicate. We're providing multiple pathways to success, affording all students the opportunity to work as teams while engaging in learning that is meaningful and responsive to the needs of the workforce. Creativity, innovation needs to be nurtured and cultivated. This is real school reform. We are making progress. We are moving in the right direction. Recently, our Board of Education developed a strategic roadmap to redefine and guide our work for the upcoming years. And we are in the process of developing scorecards aligned with the strategic directions that we'll be monitoring and sharing out our progress on a data dashboard. Through our mission statement, the Board of Education brings greater clarity to why we exist. Here's our mission. We ensure that all students, all, are college, career, and community ready, inspired to succeed in our diverse community. In order to achieve that mission, we're compelled to create a robust, innovative system to meet the needs of all varied learners as we prepare all students for technical college, a four-year college, or entry directly into the workforce upon graduation. We're moving in the right direction. Parent engagement, very critical. Community engagement and voice, critical as we embrace real change in education reform here in Green Bay. And to that end, we've set up a number of community engagement sessions. We had the first last week, and the sessions will run through the spring, and we invite everyone to attend. I want to talk just a bit about public schools and what they mean to a community. Vibrant public schools. Vibrant public schools are foundational to our successful community. Green Bay Public Schools has a significant impact on the economic growth and development here in our city. Not only because we produce successful graduates who return to Green Bay to work, raise families, but also because we are one of the largest employers in Brown County. Economists might refer to what we do as a multiplier effect, because as a large school district, we often partner with our local businesses to purchase supplies, materials, where they're customers, technology, furniture, services. In some cases, we can also be a vendor's largest and best consumer. Also, with over 3,000 full and part-time employees, our community benefits because our employees are very good consumers as well. We all know that vibrant public schools attract families to move in our communities. And we have many successful graduates who are products of each and every one of our high schools. And I'd like to introduce you to a few of them. This is Michaela McKenzie, a 2011 graduate from Southwest High School. She's currently a civil engineering major at Duke University. Kyle Pfeiffer and Kenny Savinvong, both 2011 graduates from West High School. These friends not only partnered up for their commencement, but they're roomies at UW-Madison, where they both are studying electrical engineering. This is Jonathan Takahashi, a 1999 graduate of East High School, and one of the many Takahashi siblings to graduate from East. Dr. Takahashi is a graduate of Harvard Medical School, currently in his residency at UW-Madison in family medicine. And finally, our graduate from Preble High School, 2010 class, Matthew Pennings. He is currently attending the U.S. Military Academy, West Point, where he is studying engineering management. We also recognize that not all students are successful in a traditional pathway, and therefore we are looking to expand choice. We continue to research, develop, and implement innovative programs and engaging pathways to be responsive to students, parents, and workforce needs. We are indeed affording our students significant choice, multiple pathways to success. We're moving in the right direction. I want to give you some background on our school community, this lunch. And just to put this in perspective and look at our neighboring districts, Ashwaubenon has 890 students in the same demographic, and there are 872 at West De Pere. We have almost 12,000. Our students are afforded the opportunity to learn and grow in a very global environment. Our student body is rich in diversity, and we celebrate that. 55% of our students are white, 45% of our students represent varied ethnic backgrounds, Hispanic, African American, American Indian, and students representing multiple races. We feel very proud to have this opportunity to have our children learn in this kind of setting. Almost 3,000 of our students receive special education services, and as already noted, we're one of the largest employers in Brown County. This information is really important when you think about our test scores and how you measure our success. While many students come to us on track for graduation to be highly successful learners, we also have a number of students, many students, who come significantly underprepared. And we find ourselves engaging in an uphill climb to close the achievement gap while raising the bar for all. This past fall, here's a really important thing that occurred. Our governor required and asked us to give a new screening tool called the PALS. And the PALS is a screening tool that predicts the future of reading success for each and every child. We learned that 20% of our students coming in, almost 330 kinders, are already at risk. They can't identify letters, they can't recognize numbers, and sadly, many of them don't even have the ability to write with a pencil or pen or crayon. We've got lots of work to do. However, the data tells us school readiness needs to be a priority. And I am confident that early intervention, birth to 3, and the people that I've been talking about this data, with this new information, bringing all of our key players to the table, I'm confident that we will have, through collective action and aligning of resources, the ability to make a significant difference in this community with school readiness. It's amazing how interesting the data directly aligns with our test scores. Those schools that succeed and are significantly doing well on a WKCE in our district have 0 or 1 student that came in at risk, while others have incoming upward of 40%. This slide I share with you because I've shared a lot about our demographics. What we've learned is that a student who walks in our doors and stays in our high schools for 4 years does extremely well. We recognize that mobility plays a very critical role in how we educate children. Sadly, many of our kids are homeless and they move around a lot. Some of our kids drop in, drop out. But those students you can see who stay with us for 4 years, very similar to what happens in a neighboring school district, do extremely well. There's very little achievement gap. And you can see, for example, that our African American population in 2012 that stayed with us graduated at a 97%, the same as their white peers, and also our overall was 95%. This is important data, too, as we look to see if we can stop or slow down mobility rates. In spite of all these challenges that we're facing, we have a lot of great gains and growth, and I want to share those with you. Our staff have been working extremely hard. We're showing that we're closing the achievement gap and that our students are making progress. We're showing that we're moving in the right direction. I'd like to call your attention now to a couple of areas. Rankings go far beyond the test scores. When we look at what happened with College Board and our advanced placement courses and ACTs, we see that the district was named by College Board as an AP Achievement District for the 3rd year in a row. This is very important because we're recognized not only for the students participating, but the kind of student participating in these advanced courses, adding more students of diverse backgrounds while maintaining or even improving the scores. We increased the scores by 4%, and we also increased participation by 20%. We still have a lot of growth to go, but we're on our way. The district consistently also scores above the state and national average on the ACTs. The U.S. News and World Report identified Preble High School as number 5 and Southwest as number 13 out of the 424 school districts across the state. What they measured, in addition to the standardized test scores, is they looked at the advanced placement scores, and they also looked at the performance levels of the least advantaged. And that's how these schools were rated so highly. The MacGyver Institute rated us 14th out of 50 of the largest school districts in the state of Wisconsin. This is important because they also looked at standardized test scores, but they took into account a very comprehensive look at a district like ours. They looked to see if students were making growth and gains and how hard the staff was pushing for students to achieve. They looked at the progress a district was making in terms of the number of rigorous courses, and they included the students' socioeconomic background as well as their limited English proficiency. Green Bay was number 14 overall out of 50, number 1 in Brown County, and number 2 in the Fox Valley. Our state report cards don't tell the whole story, and we always tell people, look deeper, look at the growth. Knowing that our students come in at a very different level, many of them, we look for growth, we look for gains, we look to see if we're closing the achievement gap. And I encourage you to do that. All of the data and greater detail of the data that I have and have been presenting is found in this document that's available to everyone if you'd like to pick up a copy at the end here. Our staff has been working tirelessly, and our data shows that while there's still a lot of work to do, our students are growing. We're closing the achievement gap. We're making progress. We're moving in the right direction. But we couldn't do this alone. We recognize that if we're going to be college, career, and community ready, it's not just a function of the K-12 system, but rather it's the sustained efforts of the collective whole, moving together, sharing the same vision, moving in the same direction. If we do this, when we do this, we will achieve extraordinary results for all the students and children in Green Bay. Our partners join us in the belief that life's circumstance should not predict the success or failure of a child. We have a number of task forces that are very critical at this time. The Out-of-School Time Task Force, working with community partners, we're examining all programs before and after school and during the summer. We want to increase the footprint of those programs that are working so well. We have a career and technical education leadership and advisory team. Workforce development is critical to us, and those partnerships with business and industry are imperative as we move forward to ensure that all students are ready to take on the world that they face. We have a committee working with higher ed, a think tank, a group of partners that really start to look at the visioning of how we can make sure that families feel and students feel that there is hope for the future regardless of life circumstance. Parents are a child's most important and first teacher, and we know that. And with our vision to empower parents to advocate for their children, We continue to seek ways to better engage parents and support their children in their learning. But we also look to improve communication, and we know that families are very busy. And to that end, we're in the process of developing an app that parents can use on their telephones to connect with our district anytime, any place, anywhere. And we're excited about that. We think it'll be very efficient for very busy families. We also partner with business and have been very fortunate to have many community business partners. And it's through these extraordinary partnerships we're able to align resource, deliver programs, and here's a great example. Right now, our netbook program, grades 6 and 9, every student has a netbook. We work with Camera Corner. They are our providers of the netbooks, and as we roll that up, we'll continue to be Camera Corner's #1 customer, affording all of our students a tool that is essential to support learning in the 21st century. We are moving forward. We are moving in the right direction. As we start to think about schools and think about extending days and summertime, and we look to various ways of including our community partners, and our municipals are playing a very critical role as we seek to educate the whole child. Extending our doors and our school years, our park and community resources will indeed play a critical role as we do so. Nonprofits are our partners who work with us to ensure that all students, regardless of life circumstance, are college, career, and community ready. And it's through these innovative programs they partner with us to level that playing field. They provide food for our children on the weekends via backpack programs. They provide tutoring, mentoring, support out of school time learning. Green Bay is very, very rich in programs, and we are grateful. Higher education. We're fortunate to be in a community where we have so many extraordinary partners. And many of the new programs that we've been able to implement for our students offering choice have been a result of our partnerships with higher education. They also send many students who come to volunteer from their institutions, and currently we're working together to bring that vision of hope, to ensure the dreams for all children, for the future for all students in our school system here in Green Bay Area Public Schools. It's very important as taxpayers, the Board of Education, along with myself and the team, we want to be very, very good stewards of your tax dollars. We work to ensure that programs that we bring to you also have a good return on investment. We have a solid fund balance, a very high bond rating, and recently we were able to refinance some debt at a cost savings to the taxpayers of almost $750,000. We keep our property taxes as low as possible. Our administrative costs are low at 4.7%. And what's really critical is we continuously seek cost savings opportunities. We save $1 million every year in energy projects. And with the opening of the Prevea Quick Care Clinic in our downtown office for our employees, we estimate that we have a savings of about $1,000 per day. We continue to seek ways to be more efficient and effective in our work. We're making progress in this area, and we're moving in the right direction. So here we come to what I would consider to be really exciting things. True educational reform comes when we educate the whole child. With the goal of ensuring that all students are college, career, and community ready, it's critical that we unlock the potential for each and every child, regardless of where they live or what their family income is. So we're looking at this through the lens of your choice, your path, your tomorrow. In addition to the programs I'm about to share with you, we're examining alternative schedules, flexible schedules, extending the school year year-round. We're examining the possibility and the impact of school uniforms in some of our schools. We have exciting new programs and opportunities for 2013. And some of these programs are actually expansions of the existing programs because of the great interest from students and families, while others are intended to be responsive to our families, the workforce, and our community. On this particular slide, there are a lot of programs you've heard probably a great deal about. Our IB program is moving K-12. It's a very global program with authentic studies. And it's West High School is hosting that right now. East High School is for the fine arts, and we're expanding that to not only include vocal and instrumental, and the students receive private lessons, but they will also have the visual arts next year. The academically gifted learner program is in full swing at Langenfeld. We have a Spanish immersion at Dan's, Jackson, and Wilder. John Dewey, our project-based learning, is currently at St. Peter, St. Paul for 8th through 12th grade students. We have the one-to-one computing program, Aldo Leopold, Preble Culinary Arts, Automotive Technician Certification at East, and our partnership with NWTC, which many of you are well aware of at Southwest High School, where we opened the welding program. There's CAD, and we're looking forward to robotics. The board has approved these two programs, exciting, for 2013-14. We have the nature-based 4K program, where students will be able to learn in an environment a little bit different than the 4Ks that some of us and 5Ks we attended. With our partnership with Bay Beach Wildlife Sanctuary, the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay, and the Green Bay Area Public Schools. Also coming, online charter here at West High School will be housed, I think, and it is I Learn Green Bay. We're starting with 9th and 10th grade students. These are the programs we're ramping up. What we're trying to do is take wonderful programs that exist in our high schools and move them down. So we're going to be having pre-engineering in partnership with NWTC, Science, Technology, and Engineering at Lombardi starting in the fall. For academically gifted learners and school within a school, we'll be moving that to a middle school as well. So we'll have elementary and middle. One-to-one computers, now the 6th graders will have their machine moved to 7th grade, so we'll have grades 6 and 7 and 9 and 10. The IB program, we're moving into grades 9 and 10, so we have that full stream. And also at East High School, as mentioned, new, we'll be adding the visual arts. There's a lot of great conversation and possibility out there, and people have been very interested in what we're doing in Green Bay Public Schools. One of the things that we hear from workforce is that our students aren't prepared to take manufacturing jobs. And being where we live, we have to be very, very mindful of that. So we've been in conversation with the potential partnership between the New Manufacturing Alliance and NWTC to put manufacturing in our schools, grades 6 through 12. Another conversation that's going on is the partnership with NWTC to move STEM and pre-engineering down to kindergarten, K through 5 in one of our elementaries. In our summer school programs, we already are in partnership and moving forward with discussion for families and students entering 4K and 5K in partnership with the Green Bay Packers and Bell and Health. To have a true fine arts academy, we need to have the full strand coming through K-12, and we're working on that. We're looking at strings and piano in one of our schools in grade 2, and also looking to see if we can integrate the fine arts K-5 in one of our elementaries. We're looking to expand our college preparatory programs, advancement via individual determination, or AVID K-12. And last night we had our first reading, which is very exciting for some, middle school football. It's a big deal, and it is a big deal. I remember coming here and going to Lombardi Middle School and realized they didn't have a football team, and that astounded me on many levels. But so that conversation is going on, and we're having that discussion as well. There are exciting things going on in our schools. We are making progress. We are growing. We are moving in the right direction. And so as our time comes to an end today, I want to thank each of you for your presence. I want to thank you for your support of the Green Bay Area Public Schools. Our doors are open. They're open this week, but they're always open. We welcome you to come and see. We're proud of the work that we're doing. We're proud of our students. We're proud of our staff. We are growing. Together, we can achieve our mission, ensuring that all students our college, career, and community ready, inspired to succeed in our diverse community. In closing, I'd like to share our new commercial with you. Again, thank you for coming. We are making progress. We are moving in the right direction. Thank you again. We're moving in the right direction.